Cyborg. Is this a bad movie? Let's get into it. Cyborg is from 1989. It lasts about an hour and 20 minutes. And what's the tagline? He's the first hero of the 21st century, and he's our only hope. Okay. He, in question, is Jean Claude Van Damme. Yeah. The title character, the Cyborg. But wait, no. Actually, why would you make a movie in the 80s starring Jean Claude Van Damme called Cyborg, and he's not a cyborg? Yeah. It's a bit of a funny one, this, because Jean Claude Van Damme plays what's called a slinger, and I don't really know what a slinger is. He basically helps people, and he lives a nomadic lifestyle, and yeah, I don't really know. But we'll talk more about Slinger later, really. Yeah. This is a Cannon movie, yay! And it was Cannon's final US theatrical release. Oh. Anyway, Jean Claude Van Damme plays Gibson Rickenbacker, and the bad guy is called Fender Tremolo. Oh my god. But the cyborg of the title is a woman named Pearl, who you hardly see and who does nothing.
It's true.
Despite being a cyborg with nettle hands that could crush a man to death, she does nothing. The movie opens, we're told, in the future. America seems to be a wasteland. Well, the animated backgrounds certainly seem to suggest that. We get a voiceover from a madman. Yeah, Fender is... yeah, he is crazy. We find out there's a plague that wiped out 99% of all human life.
Working on a cure that would end the plague and restore the world. Restore it? Why? I like the death. I like the misery. I like this world!
Anyway, Pearl and her guardian are having to travel to Atlanta to deliver the final thing needed for this cure for the plague. Fender and his band of pirates want to stop her. They want to get the cure for themselves so that he will be a god. So they kill the companion. Yeah, pretty easily. Yeah. They're about to grab Pearl, and then a slinger shows up. Gibson, Jean Claude Van Damme. He springs into action, starts taking out bad guys, and then he's knocked out and Pearl is taken anyway. Yeah.
Why bother?
Well, before she's taken, she reveals to Gibson that she's in fact a cyborg. And yeah, she shows her crazy little cyborg head. It's really weird looking. And she also says, "Why did you save me?" That's right. And he says, "I thought it was somebody else." What, it? Yeah, well.
I thought it was somebody else.
Gibson decides I should go and follow them, save her. But before he sets off, he meets another young lady, Nady. Yeah, Nady, N-A-D-Y, which to me says Nady, but apparently it's Nady.
The hell do I know?
She says, "I'll help you go to Atlanta, because I also think there should be a cure in this world." Yeah, just gets involved for no reason. So they head off and walk straight into an ambush in a big empty building. Yeah. And there's a big fight scene in this big empty structure. Do you know this big empty structure and half of the costumes in this movie were actually designed for a Masters of the Universe movie? Oh really? Yeah. Well, a sequel that never happened. Alright, okay. And also for a Spider-Man movie. Imagine that. A Spider-Man movie from Cannon movies, from Cannon films. That did so good. Yeah, well, good. I'm not sure, but it would have been entertaining. But the fight scenes in this are okay, pretty decent. Yeah, Van Damme actually blinded a guy during this. Okay, well, apart from that, the fight scenes are pretty cool. They're not amazing, super fast or super flashy, but it's nice to see Van Damme in action. Gibson and Nady fight their way through the bad guys, make it to the beach, and she instantly gets her clothes off and goes skinny dipping. Yeah, now's not the time. Yeah, well. And then that night they're sitting by the campfire And she's like, hey, do you want to see my breasts? Yeah, she shows her breasts. I don't know if she's trying to keep Gibson there or show her appreciation to him. I don't know. And he takes advantage. He does not. No, he doesn't. He pulls up the blanket and covers her back up. And he's like, no, you keep them for yourself. Now, there's more to this movie. There are a lot of flashbacks. A lot. It turns out Gibson, back in the day, lived with this little family. He found them, protected them from bad guys and robbers and pirates, and fell in love with the eldest daughter. They had all watched their parents being killed. So he fell in love with the eldest daughter, and then eventually Fender and his band came along, tied up Gibson and the youngest son and the eldest daughter with barbed wire, and they made the middle child, the younger daughter, hold the barbed wire for as long as she could and try and save them from falling to their death in a well. Yeah. What? And it turns out that little girl, she did drop them.
What a loser.
And only Van Damme survives because he's Van Damme. Yeah, she is now part of Fender's gang. Did she recognise Gibson? I think she did. Good. So I was going to say, he might not recognise her because it's been like 15 years and she's a little girl. He's only had a haircut. Yeah. I think she recognised him. Fender doesn't. To be fair, Fender's probably killed a lot of people. Yeah, probably actually. Fair enough if he doesn't recognise them, but I mean, it's a pretty brutal way to kill someone. You would think he would remember that.
Did that happen? I have no memory of that.
Anyway, back to present day. Gibson and Nade travel a few more miles and walk right into another ambush. Yeah, and this one is in exactly the same building. It seems to be the same building, just shot from the other side. But there's another big fight scene. And then running away, hiding, trying to avoid the bad guys. It also leads to one of my favourite scenes in cinema history. What? In this movie? Yeah.
Bro, seriously?
I love this shot. When they're down in the storm drains, Van Damme's found a ledge up above. He's in split position, holding a knife above his head, waiting for Ralph Moeller. Hey, you'll see best of best too. Waiting for him to pass by so he can take him out. I just always thought it looked so cool, this image. Eventually, Van Damme is overpowered, outnumbered. Nade has been knocked out, so she's no help. But he wakes up to find he is being crucified. Yet, seriously folks, he's tied to like the mast of the big abandoned ship. And he's, being crucified. Luckily, he is Van Damme, so he just kicks his way free. He kicks away at the wood for ages, and eventually he smashes it, and it topples over, he falls to the sand, and crushes himself to death. No, he does. That's something that could have happened. Anyway, luckily, Nade comes along, she frees him, and then they both head off to Atlanta. They're nearly there. Yeah.
It's almost over.
They make it to Atlanta by nightfall, and by rainfall, it is pouring down. I'm not going there. Well, it's just that one night, but big fights in the rain in this scene of urban decay. There's burnt out cars all over the place. Gibson fights a load of bad guys, takes them out one by one, and eventually finds Fender. Fender and Gibson have a face-off. Gibson gets knocked out. Fender kills Nade. Oh my god. And this fires Gibson up, and he's like, hey you! And he's like, and then they must be in love, these two. Who? Nade? No. Gibson and Fender. Why are you saying that? Because they finish each other's sentences. Another... Haley gets involved. We learn that's the name of the little girl who is now in Fender's group of pirates. She tries to stop Fender from killing Gibson, so Fender knocks her out. Yeah. Gibson and Fender fight. It's a big long fight sequence. Eventually, Gibson knocks Fender out. You think, oh, that's him. It's game over for him, and he falls into the rain. But then he just gets straight back up. and attacks Gibson some more. So they fight more. By the way, the Cyborg is just watching all this, just like, oh, how interesting. She could go and crush Fender's head with her little metal hands. She could do something, but she just stands and watches. Anyway, Fender and Gibson end up smashing through the wall of the building, and Gibson gives a Van Damme kick to Fender, and it throws him onto a meat hook. Why is that there? No one knows. But it kills Fender dead. That is him actually dead.
Thank God.
We got to Gibson and Haley escorting Pearl to her final destination, and she is there meeting a doctor. The doctor says, well, now we can complete the cure. He says thanks to Van Damme and says, why don't you stay here with us? Van Damme and Haley look at each other and just leave. Yeah, and that's the end of the movie.
It's strange, but I feel he's the real cure for this world.
That's the end of the movie. That's it. Don't expect any more. Well, that's Cyborg from 1989. He had already made Bloodsport at this point. Yeah, I know. Is it a bad movie? It's not good. Although, it is Van Damme. See, that's how I see it. I think this movie's better than it would have been with, no offence, Michael Dudikoff, or, no offence, Chuck Norris. Van Damme's fighting style looks so much better on the screen. It's flashier, it's more fun, it's more impressive, and even though his character in this film is a bit dull, well, I was going to say a bit boring, no, I was going to say a bit bland, no, none of these words, I was going to say a bit serious. He's quiet, yeah, he is, but I still think he elevates the movie, because without him, it would be, okay, it'd probably be good fun. It's a canon film after all, so it'd probably be good fun, a good watch, but I don't think I would have watched it more than once. Had you seen this before? Yeah, I saw this a lot. I had all the Van Damme movies on VHS, really? Yeah, up until they stopped making them. I had all the movies up until Derailed, I think. What's Derailed? It's alright. It's not great. But I had Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Double Team, Double Impact, Knockoff, Time Cop, Hard Target. I had Desert Heat, I had Legionnaire, I had Replicant, I had No Retreat, No Surrender, I had Cyborg. I had all of them, and I still do have quite a lot of them. But that is Cyborg. Wait, what? Slinger? I was going to tell you about Slinger. Yeah, so it's like the Slinger, like, anti-tyrant type of guy. Yeah, well, I don't actually know what the Slinger character actually is, but Albert Pune, who directed this movie, Cyborg, this is the studio's edit of the film, the theatrical release, but he has another version available, really, and it's called Slinger. And it's this movie with a lot more scenes, edited very differently apparently, quite a darker film, and it's in black and white. What? Van Damme kicks in black and white? Can you imagine such a thing? Is it good? I've still never watched it, but I'm going to get it soon. We're going to watch it, and we'll let you know what we think of it. Hit like, hit subscribe, watch another video.